I rethought what I'm going to say to police when I call police. Because they're not really stalkers. Stalkers is somebody who has a crush on you or something like that. Overall, that's what it is, because they're acting on behalf of my exes who are police or police adjacent. But these individuals, I don't know them personally. What they're doing, they are acting as detectives. They're unlicensed police officers impersonating law enforcement. So when I call the police, I'm going to say I need to report people in plain clothes impersonating police. And then when they say, how are they doing that? Well, whoever they work for, they're not licensed. Whoever they work for has access to flock and Palantir surveillance capabilities. And their friends have falsely claimed that they work for Sarah George, Bernie Sanders, or Mulvaney Stanek, and they did that after others got drunk and high and admitted to working for Outreach, Weinberger, Judge Hoare. So they're doing this on behalf of government agents. But that's for the police and the state police to sort out. What I'm reporting is they're following me 24/7. It doesn't, whether I'm in Essex, Burlington, or South Burlington, I can't go anywhere without 2 or 3 of them, sometimes more. I should say without 1 or more being there. And they have access, whoever's sending them as detectives, unlicensed detectives, to impersonate law enforcement, has access to surveillance capabilities, tech. But when I call and they say Essex PD, I'm just going to say I need to report people who are impersonating police agents. I'm going to say agents, not officers, because they're not dressed up in uniforms. They're not flashing fake badges. They're not putting a bubble on their car and pulling people over. And since there are criminal statutes in Vermont that says you cannot impersonate government agent, I don't think it specifies, like, who can impersonate Bernie Sanders. You can't impersonate Bernie Sanders. You can't impersonate Sarah George. But when you're claiming to work on their behalf, that's still impersonating government agents. Which, that's just an initial complaint. Ultimately, we know that the special prosecutors and state police and whoever are going to charge them for, that's not really going to be the charges. The charges is going to be treason, racketeering, murder, multiple murders, child trafficking, whatever all the charges are going to be. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. So I'm just going to report to, when I call police, I'm just going to, and this makes it real hard. Another reason why, because that's literally what's going on. They're impersonating police. Just because they're doing it on behalf of police doesn't make it any different. That makes it worse. It also puts the dispatch, the responding officer, whether it's a corrupt officer in South Burlington or Burlington who gets the call, and if they do go ahead and refer to Outreach, that puts all of them in a predicament. If they're corrupt, they've got some explaining to do. If they're not corrupt, it gives them probable cause to probe further into what's going on. And at that point, they have to ask me more details. And that allows me, that way they can't play fucking games with semantics and cut off the conversation like they've been doing to dilute, so they can say, oh, well, she didn't tell me that. They can't fucking play games. They have to ask me, what are they doing? And all that. So, you know, when you're calling the police, especially the non-emergency number, you have a matter of seconds to tell them what's going on. And ultimately, since they are investigating me without any license, they're not licensed private eyes, they're not licensed detectives, they're not licensed peace officers, they're not licensed social workers, though some of them are. And again, well, I'm not going to go into all that. State police and prosecutors can sort all that out. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm going to do it that way. Because it escalates the situation to something much more serious. It means they can't fucking play with that. The police can't play around with it. Outreach can't dick around. And state police, because there's clearly, apparently, some corrupt state police too. So it's not like there isn't tons of evidence of them doing this. They're fucking on all the video at GMT and on the buses, and plus the regular surveillance. I mean, I'm a cop claiming to be murdered by other cops. You think they're not fucking watching me 24/7? Now, if the dispatch or responding officer says, why would they be doing this? You know, this doesn't, I'm going to say it because I record all cops. And they're sending people in plain clothes to put on crazy acts in hopes that I won't record them and hold them accountable. They want me to think that they're just civilians when they're not civilians. My conversation with the lieutenant at the sheriff's department, when I said, if you're acting on behalf of police, you're a police agent, you're a cop, I can record you all day long. And he basically shook his head in the affirmative. And that's why they're doing it. Besides the fact that they're trying to go undetected as police. And I'll clarify that. I'm going to say they're plain clothes, and they're acting as police. Since you're investigating me and watching my every move and reporting to police, you're impersonating a police detective. For all you shitbag private ICE agents that are doing this for outreach, for a fucking apartment, for fucking unlimited drugs, so you can deal drugs and make